What's going on, everybody? My name is Box from Box and Jackalope, and today we're going to talk about why I'm super excited for Sire Denathrius as a villain and how Garrosh being involved makes him super interesting to me. So Afterlife's Revendreth was released in September, and while the shortest of the series, it has sparked so much discussion among the World of Warcraft community. And honestly guys, just having Garrosh being involved here is enough to spark discussion among anyone. I remember when these Afterlife cinematics were teased and the picture of Garrosh was out, people were talking about it already. Sire Denathrius was the main focus of this cinematic, as well as Revendreth's system being broken. Denathrius is essentially milking characters that were sent to Revendreth after their death, Garrosh being used as a prime example here, referring to our one true favorite war chief as Old Reliable.
Yes, we still have our old reliables, our workhorses.
I'm just kidding, guys. Vol'jin was actually my favorite war chief. I just wish he did a little bit more, but Garrosh is actually one of my favorite characters. Anyway, usually the first final boss of an expansion can feel lackluster. I'm looking at G'huun here, guys. Oh my god, G'huun was so boring. G'huun just he was the idea was cool, but I just think it would have been better to have Prophet Zul do something instead. But Denathrius feels built up to very well here. I've seen a lot of people that just seem to be fans of his character already, and in a weird way, I feel somewhat motivated to save someone as evil as Garrosh from a fate such as this. The fact Denathrius is willing to only feed the rich and let the rest suffer is despicable. In the Venthyr Covenant, the idea is to help souls as evil as Garrosh atone for their sins, and obviously that's just no longer the case here. I would also like to point out that the voice actor of Denathrius did a fantastic job setting the tone for this character and zone.
To the good people of Revendreth, it is with optimism that I address you today. Though these are challenging times.
Seriously, this character already feels memorable, and he's new in this expansion, so that is totally awesome. As of recording this video, I don't really know much about the questing in Revendreth, but I do know our friend Sire is the antagonist of the zone, and he's in cahoots with our good friend, the Jailer. I get the feeling he is the type of character that is going to double-cross us during the questing after the way he acts in the cinematic. My ideal end for this character, after reading a bit about the fight, would be him to fall through the final floor of Castle Nathria, only to get what he deserves from the workhorses such as Garrosh, Kael'thas, Kargath, and you know what guys? Let's just throw in Siegecrafter Blackfuse. Imagine the four of these villains and others beating the unholy hell out of this smug tyrant and liberating themselves from the years of torture they received. I feel this would also share a similar tone to Gul'dan's fate in Legion. And you know what guys, that Terran Gregorian team cinematic would be absolutely incredible. Him and his team do an absolutely fantastic job on World of Warcraft cinematics. So, I know what some of you may be thinking. Box, if these villains go free, do they just start causing trouble again? What are they doing? And I feel the worst fate we could get for a character like Garrosh would be for him to be thrown in the maw or killed as a villain again. No. We need to see a different side of the character here. Perhaps with how much torture he's gone through, his more prideful side was drained, and we see a more Stone Talon / Nagrand Garrosh here. I think I was always really disappointed to hear in that interview that they said the Stone Talon Garrosh was never really meant to be. I always found that to be a really interesting side of him, and the fact that Garrosh was so flip-floppy as a character was something that was always really interesting to me. So I think, if they brought out that side here, I don't think people would be upset by that, because I think a lot of Garrosh fans, they do like him for how crazy he is, but they also like this side of him from that zone. A lot of his defenders bring that storyline up. This is the best time to make him not the worst incarnation of himself. Blizzard has outright admitted they didn't like where Garrosh ended up. I hope he gets a similar treatment to Kael'thas in the Revendreth storyline, even a soft-spoken redemption for Garrosh, admitting that he was wrong to Thrall, or something along those lines would be fantastic in my opinion. So we can finally get rid of the Garrosh did nothing wrong line, that he can admit he did something wrong. He got a severe punishment being used as a battery all the years after the Muck-Garah with Thrall. I think this was a very fitting fate for Garrosh after the Muck-Garah and what he did during Warlords of Draenor. In an interview with Christy Golden, it was stated if Rathian didn't interfere with Garrosh, he would have been on the path to redemption. So I think this opens up a lot of interesting possibilities for the guy myself. The interactions between him, Thrall, and Nazgrim could go a hell of a long way. My friend Skoll and I talked about how it would be awesome to see Garrosh wind up in Maldraxxus post-Revendreth redemption if this happens. And we both agree it would be really cool if Garrosh in the Shadowlands somehow had Gorehowl and he gave it back to Thrall as a way of kind of closing out their storyline. Basically telling Thrall to succeed where he failed. To go back and basically sum everything up, at the end of Mists of Pandaria when he survived the Siege of Orgrimmar, I thought we were going to get a redemption arc for this character, so he'd have a similar storyline to his father. I did like the Muck-Garah and Warlords of Draenor, and I do think the ending was sad, but I think we can get a perfect ending here if done right for the character. So anyway guys, please let me know what you think in the comments below. Do you like Garrosh? Are you interested in Sire Denathrius? I'd love to hear below. I personally can't wait to discover more about this character and the fate of our favorite orc war chief, who totally did nothing wrong, did the best for the Horde, the best that he could, and yeah, definitely better than War Chief Sylvanas still. Don't tell Jackalope I said that. Love you guys, see you soon.